Hello, friends. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments. Today, get yourselves ready. We got a really cool zombie deck that you're looking at right now. This is like a zombie combo like you've never seen it. It's really cool. It comes all the way from Japan, and I'm really excited about this deck. But we've also got the return of one of our oldest friends, a former big time patron, a former top 10 player, finished as high as rank 4. It's JD McDonald Enos who's back. And if you've been around a long time, you know we suddenly have a new meta Sandman deck. Let's get cooking. We're talking about the Sasaka deck. So this is a zombie Arnhem Zola list, which is fundamentally saying, all right, if I zombie Giant Man and then I Arnhem Zola that card, I'm probably going to win that game. I can also do the same play with Black Panther. That is basically the logic here, right? If I do it with Zola on the zombie Giant Man, I'm very likely to actually be able to compete in all the lanes because I'm going to make a stupidly big horde. We're going to make a stupidly big zombie Giant Man. If we can do that on Wong, we're really cooking with gas. We can also feel free to do that on Symbiote Spider-Man, as the case may be. Same thing for Wong, Panther, Zola, Symbiote Spider-Man, Panther, Zola. Of course, some opponents are going to disrupt this. Sometimes you're going to have extra cards in the lane. That's what Madam Web is for. She's going to get things in a lane alone. And then we just, of course, have a regular and powerful game plan to play with this list we'll talk about as we go. You can find Sasaka at twitter.com/SasakaMarvel. Just a great player, sharing multiple great decks, tagging me lately, so thank you for the tags. We need the zombie cards in Madam Web here. Symbiote Spider-Man can be Shuri. You do lose a bit there with the Zola combo, but it is an acceptable replacement if you must. So, all right, the Hunger is just this really powerful one-drop Hunger, zombie, and zombie. Zombie, Fantastic Scarlet Witch, and Giant Man all go together. You want to make the biggest possible zombie Giant Man, the biggest possible horde, so you can make the biggest possible zombie Giant Man. You have Wong as a way to help that. In particular, Wong with the Hunger is an immediate 6 power, which is really strong, right? If you play Wong, right, like you play Zombie Scarlet Witch, you go Madam Web, ideally, right? Zombie Scarlet Witch into Wong into the Hunger, right? Like now you've only got one turn left for the Zombie Giant Man, but your Zombie Giant Man is huge and your Horde is huge. You can still play an Absorbing Man too, by the way, if you're so inclined in these types of play patterns. But like there's a million ways to do this. You can also just go like, oops, I played Hunger on 1, I played Zombie Mr. 2, Zombie Scarlet Witch on 3, Wong on 4, and then I played Zombie Giant Man. Great, have a great time. There's a million different plays, a million different ways to get about it, and then you just Zola it and win. You can also just like make, if you play Zombie Giant Man in a Wong lane, you can always Odin it and make yourself a really big horde that way and get your Zombie Giant Man to be super big. You can Absorbing Man it to be get really huge while also re-triggering your horde. There's a million little plays that all put up a ton of power. This list is ridiculously cool. So combo Zombo. Turn 1 Hunger over Kitty. Turn 2 Web over Zombie Fantastic. Turn 3 Zombie Scarlet Witch over earlier plays. And the second you start to see Zombie Scarlet Witch, if you have a decent hand, you can snap. You can also snap when you see the Wong Symbiote with Panther Zola or Zombie Zola play. So you can either play Web or Wong or Symbiote on Madam Web ideally, or you can play a bunch of cards with Zombie Scarlet Witch. Turn 5, Panther, Zombie Giant Man. Turn 6, Odin on a Wong pile for a huge zombie, or Zola, the Panther, Zombie Giant Man, or you can just play Absorbing Man and an extra card. Again, if you just want to put up points, if you want all the combo zombie points, this is going to be the list for you. It is not a cheap list, right? No zombie list is a cheap list. All these cards just came out. But outside of the zombie cards, this one's not actually that hard to pull off, and I urge you to give it a shot. I think you will be really impressed with how much power this puts up and how great this deck is. Once more, I remind people that they should probably buy the season pass cards. Symbiote Spider-Man spent an awfully long time as sort of a dead card and is now the opposite of that, and now a really powerful thing to do. Speaking of powerful things to do, you can't be more powerful than subscribing to Snap Judgments. Top players watch this. Players that are struggling to hit infinite watch this and hit infinite. These videos are for you if you're trying to climb and get better at Marvel Snap to know the meta and know the coolest and most powerful combos in the game. Hit that sub, leave a like, and leave a comment. We also have a Zombie Scarlet Witch to give away this week. We announced our last 2 on the community post, so if you're interested, go check that out. We'll be giving away more this week. All you have to do is sub, like, comment. Nice and simple. There's a question later in the video that'll help. All right, so JD Max Exit Light is our deck of the day. This is going to be the main deck, the one we're going to focus on for the day. JD McDonaldinho is a player who, he's been around forever, right? He's one of Lambie's old crew, if you remember Lambie. I guess you probably do because he's still on 8 cubes with Cam, but he's one of Lambie's old crew. He's also a good friend of the great Jet of Phoenix Force fame. See also yesterday's video. He has peaked at rank 4 a few seasons ago on the Infinite Leaderboard. The basically the last Sandman list that was meta was his list. Well, he's back, and guess what? He's back with the Sandman list, and he climbed all the way to rank 14 with this list. This is one of the easiest things to play, so if you want to climb and you just want some easy points, this is where you want to be. As far as what you need for this list, see how needs is sort of blank. You need question mark chirp. If you don't have blink, run Jubilee. That's it. Blink or Iron Lad can be Jubilee. I'd like to have Blink or Iron Lad, but I don't think either is important. Turns out Patriot Ultron is still really strong. We did do the turn by turn. Good. All right, so Dazzler, you're filling the lanes. Dazzler's 8 power. Invisible Woman lets you snap and steal combo points. There's very little Goliath, very little Cosmo. You go Invisible Woman, you go Patriot, you go Mystique, and then you can play whatever, wherever, right? You play Blue Marvel in a lane. You play an Iron Lad in a lane, whatever the case may be, and then you play Ultron, and then you win. It's a lot of power, and opponents will not be ready for it, and they should generally run from your snaps. Patriot alone is good enough for Ultron. Turning those bots into 20 power lanes are pretty good. You'd like Blue Marvel in these games, but very often a card like Sandman is going to ruin your opponent's game plan enough for that play to win the game. A card like Shadow King, if you can play Shadow King on turn 5 and turn them off, is going to let that 20 power carry you. We don't want silliness to go over the top of us, so we have Killmonger and Mobius as our no fun cards. A lot of the time, these are Stardust. Feel free to include Stardust if you're so inclined, but we are running Killmonger, Mobius, and Shadow King as our no fun cards. Oh, my opponent's going to try and be cheap and go way over the top. No, they're not. We don't always have the ability to play the Mobius or Shadow King at the end of the game. Well, we have Invisible Woman for that. So we can play Invisible Woman, Killmonger, and then we can play Ultron behind there. Killmonger will get rid of all the opponent's ones, and then we will refill all of our spots with the Ultron drones. So she's saying Infinity Ultron. Lad gives us an extra shot at Patriot, an extra shot at Ultron. Both of those are very powerful. We're also perfectly happy to get a Blue Marvel out of the Iron Lad, which we can copy with Mystique. It's not the best card in the deck, but it does have a decent amount of power. Be a little careful with it, again, with Ultron, and you should be fine. Blue Marvel, meanwhile, is our backup Patriot. We do want a buff. Look, getting 2 less power in each lane is significantly worse, but it's still not bad. So don't hesitate to use Blue Marvel, but don't feel like it's a priority. Blink, make sure we get Ultron. It's just that simple. We make sure we get Ultron by playing a card on turn. If we played Sandman or Blue Marvel, we turn that into Ultron on turn 6. Nice and simple. Sandman says my opponent can't combo over me, especially good with Mobius, in which case your cards will cost the same, their cards will cost more. And of course, Ultron puts 2 power drones all over the board. Those are 4 power drones with Patriot, 6 power drones with Mystique, and you usually, again, win these games because you are playing a no-fun deck that goes over the top of them. So, rank 14, immediately upon his return to the game, is JD McDonald as his whole life has fallen apart, but he has conquered Marvel Snap once more. We've got turn 1 pass, turn 2 Dazzler or Invisible Woman. I'm partial to the woman. Turn 3 Mobius or Patriot behind Invisible. We can also Monger behind Invisible as the need be. Turn 6 Mystique behind Patriot, or we can play Iron Lad if we have Ultron in hand, or if we're looking for a key card. Any other 3 is good. Turn 5 is a situational 5, but generally speaking, if we can play Patriot here, we're going to play Patriot, because last turn we went either Ultron or Blink or Iron Lad to try and get Ultron. This is not the most complicated list I've ever seen. This is not the most complicated list we've ever featured here on this channel, but it is powerful. It is really good into the meta. Combo stuff can go over the top of this, but you have Shadow King, right? So like if they're playing a zombie horde, there's 0 power zombie horde. It's not that hard to beat. If they're playing Victoria Hand, well, you've got Killmonger to handle that. This deck does a wonderful job at countering and answering the meta, as Shady Del Nino also often does, and in the process, you get to play a bunch of Series 3 cards that you probably forgot existed. So if you'd like a nice cheap budget option that can compete at the highest ends of Infinite, this is the list for you. Come check out a stream at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I will be live at about 10 a.m. Eastern. As soon as I'm done tutoring, I tutor from 9 to 10, and then as soon as that ends, I'm going live on Twitch. I'll see you there, where we're going to test out Zombie Captain Marvel. Hopefully you saw my big Zombie Captain Marvel surprise yesterday. Our season pass question is nice and simple. Which is the best Mario game? So as far as 3D Mario games, I am partial to Galaxy. I really love the hopping around the planets. I love that each planet has its own theme. As far as 2D Mario, I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is the peak. 1 is my favorite just because like super classic, right? I had it on NES as like a tiny child and I loved it. But 3 I think is still the peak of 2D Mario. I want to say World. I want to say like it ends up being like a Yoshi's Island type thing, but it's not. It's just Mario 3. They peaked literally in the NES, which is so wild to me. I would think they would have been able to make a better 3D Mario at some point, but sorry, a better 2D Mario, but they haven't. Meanwhile, Galaxy I think is pure joy. I've got to play a few of the newer ones. I didn't end up getting the Switch version, but it's going to be hard to top Galaxy, which is the like only 3D Mario I poured hours and hours and hours into. What's your favorite Mario game in order to enter to win? Zombie, Captain Marvel. Zombie Captain Marvel, Zombie Scarlet Witch. Certain to support on our Patreon come with on air thanks. Let's say thank you to Jones A, Snap 22, Triple Threats Back, Abigail Gieson, Mandatory Burner, LAB Inc., Frostman, Iron Cloak, welcome, Hotan Everton, Primed Ryan of the Prime Man app, Ryan Burke, Burke Ave, Ryan Wood Snap, Ren Wrench, Group Math, I forgot to change it, Vera Group Math, Gopher Kev, Caretix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel, 3K, Black Dahlia, Profros, The Goat Seeker, Goatsy, Code, Hollowed Synth, Ratnik, Absolute Shannon, Turtay, Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Taplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Visa, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy, and Skippy G are, in fact, rhyming friends. Jessica Campbell, hey, Jess, Slushjet, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, KFC Hoda, Colt, welcome, Colt, Glam, Colonel Foreman, David Boo, Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, let me clear my throat, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Matt V., Billy Nix, William Nichols, Ray, Sean Smith, Charles, Chucky Washington, Corin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, Cute Town, you stout. Not 7th or 9th, but 8th Sage, not 6, 7 either. Damn it. One Big Man, Cactus, Steve O, Wonder, Margo, Ted Bro, Good Bro Joe, Snap Decisions, Joe, Pickety Boom Bop, Bricks, not 3, 2 Click, Ocularis, Green, Goblin, Flan 56, Spectrumist, Hoot, Only Fox, Med H, DJ, Mackie Adjunct, No Frickin' Flex, Nick, the Greeky, Toxic Soul King, Zazark 74, the King of Canada, JJ, Demman Falcon, Pop 30 Me, Two Ties, the Great, Great, Laura Modez, the Pirate King, Tucka, and of course, Gunny T. The T stands for my cat came to say hello for the end of the video. You will see his tail if you don't shortly. Thanks for watching. T is for tail. Peace.